Sai Ram. Welcome to Sri Sathya Sai Loka Seva Gurukulam video session. Here in this chapter we will be learning about medieval world. This medieval period, it's between the ancient and the modern period. And here in this topic we will be discussing about Europe in medieval times and the decline of the Roman Empire. So in the medieval period, it marked the end of the Roman civilization, and also a new religion, Islam, has emerged and it has spread. The empire has spread to the entire world. And in India, if you observe, it was after the decline of King Harshavardhana. So here when we discuss Europe in medieval times, the medieval period is also called as the Middle Ages. So another name of medieval period is Middle Ages. As the name suggests, it refers to the period which succeeded the ancient period and came before the modern period. As the term suggests, it comes in between the ancient period and the modern period. The medieval period constitutes an important stage in the evolution of human society. So just understand this medieval period, it has importance in the human society. The term medieval ages was coined by Europeans in the 17th century because they saw it as a long and dark period of interruption between the classical period of ancient Greek and Roman civilization and their own modern age. So as the term suggests, this medieval age, it is according to Europeans, it was told as dark ages. But at the same time, there was progress even during the medieval period. So in detail, when you observe this was during the medieval period. This is a coin used during the medieval period in Europe, that is the palace. The medieval period was not necessarily a dark period or an interruption. See, as I told, medieval period always it is told as a dark age. It was told that there was no progress during that period. But at the same time, just understand, for the Islamic world, it was a period when a civilization flowered and reached the height of its glory. So, as we discussed about Greek and Roman civilization, even during the medieval period, this civilization, it has flourished and glorified during the medieval period. In India, the medieval period was an age of synthesis. Synthesis means mixing of different cultures or language or tradition. It saw a fusion of old and new political, economic and social system. So, it was the synthesis of political, economic and the social system. Out of this fusion emerged a unique cultural pattern of coexistence and acceptance that became the hallmark of the medieval period of India. So, it was the fusion. I told synthesis or the fusion of political, economic and social system, and that led to the hallmark, a change during the medieval period. Even in Europe, see, I just told about India, there was a synthesis of the political economic situation. In Europe, when you observe, the picture does not appear as gloomy as it sometimes thought. See, as I told, it was told as dark ages, but it was not dark ages. There was changes happened in the medieval period even in Europe. In the early period of medieval period, the level of material and cultural accomplishment was no doubt somewhat low. However, during the later part, the Europeans greatly improved their standard of living. So, in Europe, the standard of living of the people, it has improved. They also developed new institutions of learning and new modes of thought and reached very high standards in literature and art. See, ancient period we have seen Roman and Greek civilization. But when we observe in Europe, during the medieval period, these institutions, it has started even for learning and new modes of thought and reached very high standards of literature and art. Very high standards in literature and art. In fact, the new ideas that emerged during this time not only transformed Europe but also had a deep impact on the rest of the world in the times to come. So just understand that the new ideas, the changes, the synchronizing which is happening, which has happened during that time, this not really transformed Europe. It has happened in Europe, but at the same time also had a deep impact on the rest of the world in the times to come. So there was an impact in the entire world. So this is the palace. As I just now I told, there was progress in the field of literature and learning. Institutions were started. Here it is one of the institutions where surgery is happening. Now, see, we have understood about Greek and Roman civilization. So here, decline of the Roman Empire. The western provinces had their capital in Rome. So just understand this Roman Empire, when we take this provinces, the western province, it is divided into two parts, western provinces and eastern provinces. And in the western provinces, the capital, it was Rome, while the eastern provinces had the capital as Constantinople. So which is the capital of the western province? It was Rome. And the eastern provinces, it was Constantinople. See, now I'll tell how this Constantinople got its name. The Roman Emperor Constantine, see the Roman king, the king's name, what is it? What is the king's name? That is Constantine, had set up the new capital of the eastern territories in the ancient Greek city of Byzantine in 330 AD. It came to be known as Constantinople after his name. So, after the name of the king, the capital of Eastern Territories got its name. Which is the capital of Eastern Territory? Yes, it is Constantinople. The Roman Empire continued to exist in the East for almost 1,000 years after it had collapsed in the West. It was known as the Eastern Roman or the Byzantine Empire. So, this is the palace. The Eastern civilization of Greek-speaking people reached very high standards of economic and cultural life at a time when Western Europe was in relatively backward condition. Here, we are just comparing about the Eastern and Western provinces. So, here the Eastern provinces, when we observe the Eastern civilization of Greek speaking, so the people, they were mainly speaking the language Greek. So, Greek speaking people reached very high standards of economic and cultural life at a time when Western Europe was in a relatively backward condition. So, Western civilization did not progress like the Eastern civilization. The Roman Empire in the West came to an end following attacks by various Germanic tribes like the Goths, Visigoths and the Franks. So, just understand the Roman Empire, especially in the Western side, what was the reason? How it did not progress? The main reason it came to an end because of the attack of the tribal people, like Germanic tribes called Goths, Vandals and the Visigoths and Franks. After overthrowing the Roman emperor in the West in 476 AD, these invaders established separate successor states. So, see, after when they came and conquered the western part of the Rome, what has happened? See, these invaders established a separate successor state. States have formed by these tribal groups. Is it clear? Roman and Germanic societies came into close contact and merged with each other. So, this Roman and Germanic society, they came into contact with each other and they merged with each other. As a result of this and the prevailing political and economic conditions, a new type of society was born in Europe. Because of the mixing of Roman and Germanic society, a new culture has formed, especially in European region, with institutions and systems that were quite different from either Roman and German ones. So, though it was mixing of Roman and German civilization, they had come up with new ideas. So, the most important institution of this new society was feudalism. So, a new form of society, especially in the European region, it has formed. It is called as feudalism. It completely transformed the existing social, political and economic organization. See, it was a system, a political system which was formed in, especially in the European society, which has transformed the existing social, political and economic organization. About this topic in detail we will discuss in the next topic. Thank you. Saira.